Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Special acknowledgement to our media friends today. Thanks very much for helping us keep the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame out there in public and alive and viable. We had an amazing year last year with our very first year in existence, topped off, of course, by our induction ceremony and dinner at the Monte Carlo, which was attended by a sold-out crowd and was a gala the likes of which a lot of people had never seen as far as boxing was concerned. And we had many, many wonderful, raving comments about what we put together, and we hope to do the same kind of thing this year. So thank you very much to the media for being in attendance. Happy to see so many TV stations and writers, both print and internet, out here today. I also want to thank very much, we have some boxers, World Championship boxers who live here in the area who have shown up to show their support for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame and what we're trying to do, and I'd like to just quickly acknowledge them. Ishay Smith was with us last year and receives our Special Achievement Award for being the first Las Vegas-born fighter ever to win a world championship. Thank you, Ishay, for coming out today. Many times, lost track of how many times he's been a world champion, but he's, it's five now? Five-time world champion, still fighting great fights and marquee fights, that we love about him, and he always gives us a great show. Zab Judah is here with us today. I want to also mention that we have former WBA super bantamweight champion here with us today. Boy, he was involved in some amazing fights not that long ago, but I always enjoyed coming up to cover him, and he came on my radio show a few times too, as I hold him dear. Clarence Bones Adams is with us here today. Thank you, Clarence, for showing your support here today. I also want to acknowledge one of the great trainers in the world today, and he was a great world champion, also multiple world champion. He fought the greatest fighters in the world, and he's made an amazing life as a trainer as well as a boxer, and he's come out here today, and I certainly appreciate it. Roger Mayweather is here with us. Thank you, Roger. We are here today at Richard Steele's gym, Health and Wellness Center. Does a great job for the youth in this area, very important. And of course, we're concerned in the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. One of the things that we did last year was to donate to a number of youth amateur teams, local gyms here and in Reno, Nevada as well, Northern Nevada. So that's a very important part of our twofold mission. And today we have with us Zakisha Steele Jones, who is the head of the foundation here that Richard Steele, named after Richard Steele, which also works with youngsters. I'm just going to bring her up for a moment and have her say what they're doing. Zakisha.
Hi guys, thanks for coming out today. I am Zakisha Steele Jones, daughter of Richard and Gladys, and also the president of the Richard Steele Foundation and Boxing Club. We are a local nonprofit organization that helps the youth of Nevada and especially the at-risk youth. Through boxing, education, leadership, and community outreach, we take at-risk kids in and we hook them in with the love of boxing, and then we teach them a few things other than boxing as well that they can apply to their lives. And just like our founder, Richard Steele, that's the story of his life. He found boxing, changed his life, and I know that it has changed so many other people's lives too. So I just want to say congratulations to all the 2014 inductees of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, and thanks for joining us. And when you're thinking about your philanthropic giving, please consider the Richard Steele Foundation and Boxing Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Zakisha. Appreciate that. The Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame last year was our first year, and we have added a few new members to our board of directors this year, and I'd like to just introduce them to you, and as well as our existing board members that we have. But first of all, the new board members that we will have this year, a woman that really is helping me out this year. She was, you all know her, she was married to the great Diego Corrales. She accepted in the induction last year on Diego's behalf at our first inaugural induction ceremony, and she's becoming now board of the directors of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, Michelle Corrales Lewis. Thank you, Michelle. Sitting right next to her, on her right, is a gentleman I've known since 1983. We shared a common thread, that being the Los Angeles Raiders, because I was the broadcaster for the Los Angeles Raiders on radio and hosted their TV highlight show in the years they were in Los Angeles. And Frank Hawkins was one hell of a fullback, a great running back for the Raiders, ran tandem with Marcus Allen, and he helped lead our club to the Super Bowl championship in 1984, January 20th. Of 1984, the only Super Bowl championship that a Los Angeles team ever won. Frank has been active up here in the community, has been active up here in politics, is now the president of the NAACP, and we are looking for that kind of community outreach into Las Vegas and into Nevada. And so now joining us on the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame Board of Directors is the president of the local chapter of the NAACP and former Raider fullback is Frank Hawkins. We're also bringing into the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame this year a local businessman with the Message to Millions business, and where is he, in the back there? Michael Jenkins back there. Take a look at that beautiful art exhibit that he has, and Michael will be working with us with his Message to Millions, and VegasLights.com I think is where you can find him. And Michael will be working with us in helping with our fundraising as well, and being active in terms of getting his message to millions out. And now I want to our existing members. Some of them are here today, actually receiving induction, but some of our existing members from ESPN Deportes, the program director at ESPN Deportes. He hosts a radio talk show host, Spanish-speaking station here in Las Vegas, and he has been with us since our beginning, Alvaro Puentes. Alvaro, thank you. Seated right next to him is a famed TV director, producer, bon vivant around the world, and he is a tremendous professional when it comes to putting a television broadcast together, and has been our TV consultant and advisor and handles that area for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, Marty Corwin. Marty, thank you very much. The other members of the board we will introduce as they actually get inducted. They were voted in, and we will refer to them in a few moments. Our plans for 2014, very quickly. Today, I thank you for being at our press conference to kick things off. We are hoping to have a fan event such as we did last year. We had a great fan event at Diego's Restaurant at the MGM Grand last year, in which we first began to get together with our fans and make things happen with a lot of the inductees and local boxing personalities. And so we look to have a fan event probably the week of the Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley fight here in town. So that's one thing we'll be doing. That'll be the time we can get some of these people and some of these fans together with their boxing personalities. And we think it's just so important, because one thing I've noticed, really, nobody outside of boxing does anything for boxing. So, we've kind of got to help each other when it comes to, promoting the good aspects of this sport, of which there are many, and the thrills of this sport. And I know from knowing these boxers that they are accessible people to fans and to the community, and fans love to get in touch with them. It was one of the things that we wanted to do, and that's one of the things that we're doing again this year. But, okay, so that is our plan for this year, which is, of course, will be highlighted by our 2014 induction ceremony, which we'll have a big gala event, site and time still to be determined, and date, but it'll be in August of this year, and we hope that it'll match the kind of thing that we did last year that was so popular with all of the sports fans, and especially popular with the fighters themselves and the inductees who were being inducted, because they hadn't seen anything quite on that scale for certainly for a state boxing Hall of Fame, and maybe not even anywhere in terms of boxing halls of fame. All right, now I want to get to the list of our 2014 inductees. We do have a number of them that are here, and we won't ask them to speak up here. We'll cut you guys free to do one-on-ones with whoever you want to talk to or greet them afterward, but I'll introduce them one by one. First of all, we have 18 inductees this year in 10 different categories. We had 2 added categories last year. One of the areas which we came under criticism for last year was to not do enough in terms of recognizing the old-timers in boxing and boxing's rich history in Nevada, which certainly stretched further back than the 60s. So this year we added a category called the Pioneer class and the Pioneer category. And so we added that. That made a 9th category. And then also a category which we called the Adoptive Nevada Resident category for boxers who moved to Las Vegas or to Reno, anywhere in Nevada after their careers were over, so that they could also be considered, and since they were making Nevada their home, in that particular category for the Hall of Fame. So now I will go through the different categories and list exactly who we have. Our special contributors this year, in the category of special contributor, last year the inductees were Sig Rogich and Kirk Kerkorian. This year the inductees are Clifford Perlman, former CEO of Caesars Palace, who encouraged the partnership between hotel, casinos, and boxing, really built that up there, brought it from where it was, where they began having fights at the Caesars Sports Pavilion, to where it became an outdoor event, the likes of which we hadn't seen in Las Vegas before. And Clifford Perlman is our first special contributor to be inducted. And Steve Wynn. Go ahead, why not a round of applause for Clifford? Yeah. And Steve Wynn, hotel owner, developer, visionary, of course, here in Las Vegas. Steve Wynn opened the Mirage Hotel with the Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard third fight of their trilogy that they had. It was the very first week. I remember it well. I was there. It was an extremely cold night out there, and when Leonard and Duran got it on for the third time, an outdoor fight. But the Mirage, of course, also had the Mike Tyson-Razor Ruddock fight, Evander Holyfield against Buster Douglas when Holyfield won the championship, Michael Nunn against Marlon Starling, just a whole series of great fights that were there at the Mirage. And now the Wynn Hotel under Steve still serves as the host hotel for many big fights. Even if they're not holding the fight there, they serve as the host hotel to the press and to the fighters and to their fans, etc. And so they're still involved, and Steve Wynn is still involved in boxing to that way. So our two inductees are Clifford Perlman and Steve Wynn in the special contributors category. Now our executive category. Last year the inductees were Mark Ratner and Dr. James Nave. This year our inductees are Chuck Minker, who died in 1992. Chuck was a judge in Nevada for boxing matches. He became the chairman of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, executive director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and was considered really one of the great executives of all time here. Prior to Mark Ratner, and Chuck Minker is our first inductee in the executive branch, and Luther Mack, who is up in Reno right now, 14 years on the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Luther actually being interviewed on one of our other board members, Panama, who does a radio talk show host in Reno, Nevada. He's being interviewed as we speak right now, and as Panama is actually announcing it simultaneously the inductees up in northern Nevada. And Luther Mack, who a distinguished Nevadan, named distinguished Nevadan by the University of Nevada, Reno, a member of their Business Hall of Fame, a real supporter of University of Nevada, Reno boxing. I see him all the time ringside in Nevada at all the University of Nevada, Reno boxing matches, and whatever's up there, you can find Luther Mack, and he is inducted in the executive. So our executive inductees, Chuck Minker and Luther Mack. Now, we move to the promotions.